Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Once again, I'm here with my friend Barbara O'Neill. Just have had a couple of days to get acquainted, and it's been a real blessing. Last night we were talking and just asking different questions and getting acquainted. And I turned to Barbara and I said, "Have you worked with many mold patients?" And her eyes kind of widened, and she really kind of took that bull by the horns and enlightened me a little bit. So I would like for you to share with the folks what you shared with me last night about mold and how it relates to your book that you wrote.
Well, my book really came out of my experience where I'd challenged yeast type problems for probably about 30 years. And then a crisis happened in our life and my health really went down. And my friend, who's a naturopath, he said, "I don't know what's happened to you," but he said, "You're going to have to stop for a few months." And he put me on some strong antifungal herbs. I went on a fairly strict diet. And it took a few months, but I finally came out of it. And I can't believe how my energy increased, my hair grew long. There are a whole lot of benefits, I suppose you could say, to conquering this in my body. And as I investigated, I found more books, more research had been written. It's almost as if the medical profession has silenced it a little bit. So then I thought, why so? And then I realized that antibiotics, the wonder drug of the 20th century, it's really overused.
Yeah.
And it's actually a mold.
Exactly.
It's a penicillic acid.
Mm-hmm.
And Alexander Fleming, the guy who discovered it, he was so excited they tested dozens of different mold wastes. 80% of the rats it was tested on, it killed them.
Wow.
So yes, antibiotics have saved many lives, but even the World Health Organization is stating today that the biggest health care risk they're seeing is the overuse or overprescription of the antibiotics, to the point where, yes, we've got yeast mold problems happening in people's body, but also when the antibiotic is needed, it's not working because the person has almost become immune to it.
Right.
And so really my book sprung out of that. My eyes were just opened. And in my book, I quote the doctors and the authors and the scientists who have done the research themselves. But one of the most exciting books was Clinical Mycology. And it's written by 4 doctors. It's a medical textbook. That book cost me $500, and that was 15 years ago. And every chapter looks at the link between fungus and different body parts and different diseases. And by the time you've read the whole book, there's nothing left. It's just about compassed everything, even to the point, which really was not discussed in this book, I've had people come down with depression 6 months after moving into a moldy house. Mm-hmm. So this is even mental one. Yeah. So yeah, it is big. And then someone said, "Oh, you can't say that fungus causes all disease." And I said, well, the question is, why is the fungus there? Right. And someone can be exposed to it, but if they're giving their body the right conditions, it cannot survive or manifest itself. Right. And really that's what my book is about, is the conditions to give the body to conquer it. And then I take it one step further, which no one wants to talk about today, and that is the link between mold and cancer.
Very good, very good. I know when we were talking last night, and I know this because one of the molds that I was most exposed to was the aspergillus with the aflatoxins, and this really hammers the liver and tends to develop liver cancer. And I shared with you how I had a lot of liver problems and stuff too, so I really appreciate that. Now this is the book, Self-Heal by Design. Yeah. Now you've written another book.
I have written another book. It's called Sustain Me.
Okay.
And it's basically a handbook on natural remedies.
Okay.
And Psalm 55 verse 22 says, "Cast your burden upon the Lord and he shall sustain thee." Amen. He will never suffer the righteous to be moved. And the Sustain Me, it coins the basic principles, the basic laws of health.
Okay.
And I start at the head and I go down: eyes, respiratory, nostril, ears, chest, so heart. So I basically start at the top and go down
To the
through the
bottom.
whole body, and
Very
just
good.
and I wanted it to be a handbook, so if there's someone's got a complaint, they can
Yes.
go
Very
here
good.
and it will cover
Yeah.
it.
I
And
appreciate that.
another thing that sparked me writing that book was when someone says to me, "What can I do for this?" My brain goes, "Ch-ch-ch," and I say this. And one day I thought, I haven't written it down. And I got some information from old ladies. They were the old ladies when I'm 25, so I guess I'm the old lady now. And also from reading, from personal experiences. And so I thought it's time to write it all down.
Yes.
It's taking a little while to get it going because our graphic designer is doing a very good job and it's in full colour. We thought, let's just do a good one.
Yes.
So
Okay. So it's not quite available yet.
No, it's not available yet. So we're in early days of February. He's hoping it'll be ready for print by the end of February.
Okay.
So mid-year.
As we wrap this up, I just take this wherever you want to go. Just one final question. Do you believe that mold is a problem with more people than we realize? In other words, we're looking at a plethora of illnesses out there, and you mentioned the different organs that it's related to. Do you think more people need to consider that their problem may be related to mold?
I think definitely it can be an aspect.
Okay.
It's an opportunist organism, so it's really only going to live where it's getting well fed. And unfortunately, people today are feeding it very well with
Yes.
the devitalized food, with the refined sugars, the hybridized wheats, so many things. And basically the organism says, "Oh, I'm going to stay in this house. I'm getting well
I
fed
love it.
here." Yeah,
Okay.
good food supply here. And of course, when you look at the cycle of life, mold, you've got yeast, fungus, mold, they're opportunist organisms. They're there to clean up the planet.
Right.
They're there to clean up the body. So you keep damaging it, you keep putting rubbish in, well, it's just going to hang about.
Yeah. One person told me that compost is there to compost, mold is there to compost you.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it feels like. Mold toxicity can be very painful. Thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it. If you don't have Barb's book, Self-Heal by Design, I encourage you to get that. You can find that on your webpage.
My daughter's got a web page. She lives here in
the
States. It's a very easy one. It's Misty Mountain USA.
Okay,
So
Misty Mountain USA.
www.mistymountainUSA.com.
And will she have the new book when it
She will.
comes out? Okay, all
Living
right.
Springs too.
So go check it out.
Yeah, Living Springs also is a great source
Okay.
of my book and the
Living
new
Springs
book.
Health Retreat,
Yeah.
Roanoke, Alabama.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. We'll see you on the next video.